much, Lascian Corla. Minister, again, I just want to put on record, I think we could have had a Q&A this morning. I think an awful lot of the questions that are going to be asked and have been asked by the two previous deputies are ones you'd be able to answer easy enough, and I think we'd all accept if there's stuff you can't answer that you come back to us. But look, we welcome your contribution on Morning Ireland this morning, followed up by your statement in relation to the Janssen and AstraZeneca for 18 to 34-year-olds. It's something our leader Alan Kelly and the Labour Party has called for all week. So we're very happy that that has been brought forward. It messed up my planned script for this morning, I must say, my planned questions for this morning. But you know, I don't think that's a big issue. But in the opt-in element of it for the 18 to 34s, will you be able to confirm at some point how that will match up with the mRNA system, and make sure that we don't reach a stage where there will be a cohort of 18 to 34-year-olds that haven't opted in but aren't captured by the other parallel system and end up falling through a gap? You know, just that this is, I'm not going to say it's rushed, it's a reactive process. Okay, I'll be positive, it's a reactive process, so I just want to make sure that young people aren't going to fall through the gap, which is very important. Are you confident that with the supplies, that with this parallel process, that by the middle of September, 30th of September, that we will have enough young people vaccinated in advance of the college and university terms and further education terms restarting? Also, there are reports now that some states such as Romania have excess supply, and Denmark is purchasing some of that. Is Ireland actively in the market with other states to purchase surplus supplies or supplies that aren't being used? That'd be really interesting to know. I was due to have my vaccine on Wednesday. Now, I got a text to ask me to fill out a form online. 2 questions. Did I have COVID? Did I have a coagulation condition? I was scrupulous in my 2 short responses. I said no, but I got a text saying that my vaccine had been cancelled. So I rang up next day thinking I messed up. I got great customer service on the 1-800 number, but it turned out that this text was kind of piloted for my cohort with a number of people, and there's been major problems with it. I've since had people contact my office, of my own age obviously, who did the same thing, filled out the very 2 short questions. These are questions that were asked in split seconds in the convention, in the testing centres or in the vaccination centres. There was no real need for this, and it's been recognised that there's no real need for this. Now, that said, there are a number of people now who the process is now shut to them, myself included, and are waiting for a repeat vaccination. So I'd be interested to know just how widespread that is. It's probably small enough, but it's affecting a few people. It's been raised already, Minister, the AstraZeneca for the over 60s and indeed people over 50 as well are caught up in this. They're becoming the left behind people of this vaccination process, and look, it is a positive process. It is something we've never done at this scale before, but it's consistent. It is the one consistent representation I'm getting in my office that is negative about this process, and we really need, I think those people really need to see you, Minister, and the government lead with something that's going to improve that for them, that's going to try and shorten it, because, as I say, Deputy Cullinan raised it himself, he will be fully vaccinated, and many people in their early 40s, late 30s will be fully vaccinated before people in their late 60s, and that's something that is not right. The antigen testing, I heard you on the radio this morning saying that you've now set up an implementation group. This is a huge issue. There are people out there now using antigen testing. They're readily available. They know how to use them. They are effective. We know they're not the gold standard PCR. We've been hearing that for a year, and people know that as well. But I believe you are a supporter of how antigen testing can be used in the overall system of testing. And as someone who's representing a constituency that has so many aviation workers, to see that aviation continues to be treated so separately from every other industry, where there were examples, and there have been examples, and the Transport Committee from which I sit on gave an example that we could have piloted antigen testing on a flight-by-flight, or a route-by-route basis. You know, it was actually quite, the system was there, and it was acknowledged by the aviation industry that that could be done. It was acknowledged by people in the HSE that, yeah, that could be done. It was never done. And, you know, the role here of NEFIT in relation to antigen testing, their appearance at the Transport Committee a couple of weeks ago was quite incredible. They brought absolutely all their big hitters. It was quite an aggressive meeting. It didn't need to be like that. But at the root of that was this feeling on antigen testing and how it's not been used in aviation. So the 19th, we're in July now. It's we've 2.5 weeks now to the 19th of July. The aviation industry needs some certainty on the EU COVID cert. They need certainty as well in relation to children being vaccinated in relation to travel. But in terms of children being vaccinated in general, we need more information on that. The indoor dining and the outdoor dining, I just need to finish on this point because I'm running out of time. I haven't experienced such anger in my office. I'm sure everyone has picked this up. I'm sure you picked it up as well, Minister, since Golfgate last year, as I did when the announcement was made earlier this week by the government. People want to be in this together and feel for the most part they have. But when the government are implementing a policy that's going to drive a wedge between younger and older, then everything, the whole edifice could fall down. I think you pulled some of that back now I hope you pulled some of that back now with the announcement on the Janssen and the AstraZeneca for 18 to 34-year-olds, but don't take that for granted. There's a whole heap of work that needs to be done to ensure that our young people are treated with the respect that they deserve after everything that they've been through as a cohort over the last 1.5 years. Thank you.